you wanna do? Yeah, low.
Interest, and all I wanted to do was leave. So I was at a hotel on a relatively high floor, and they had all of a sudden, I had been there like 4 or 5 days, and the night before I was attacked really bad, I noticed a maintenance man about 10 or 11 o'clock at night messing with all of the lights up and down the hallway. And as I'm sorry, I get kind of upset when I think about this because it's really messed up. Um, and my spidey sense went off, and I was really kind of nervous about like what the hell he was doing out there because he was kind of a sinister, he was real creepy kind of person. So the next night, I believe it was a Friday night, I went to bed. I had all of the doors, all the locks on the door, even the one that kind of like goes over that you can't open from the outside. I had everything locked up. Figured I was safe. I went to bed maybe about 1 o'clock in the morning. I woke up about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, bleeding out of every hole, sick. Someone was in my room, or had been in my room. Food was missing. My dogs were traumatized. I had been obviously sexually assaulted uh, in all the worst ways possible. I got up, first thing I did was vomit. And all I wanted to do was I was just in shock. There was a do not disturb sign on my door, and I didn't do this. And there was lotion all over my bathroom floor. All I wanted to do was just get on a plane and get the hell away from everybody. And I was, very, very sick and in a lot of pain. I had already been denied a rape kit when I owned my house, and woke up, and my hair had obviously been pulled out, and there were earplugs in my bed. And I felt like someone had done something. I went to Palos Community Hospital, um, under the directions of a non-compromised police officer who told me that if anything happened, to go right to the hospital. So I did. And I had a compromised doctor who treated me like a third-rate citizen and said she would give me an STD test and a drug test. But she refused me a rape kit. And
This involves the projection of voices and sometimes numbers and other symbols used to threaten torture. Absolute nightmares of my family members suffering. Throughout the past 3 years, I have experienced episodes of varying degrees of nausea and dizziness and bruising. They are horribly violent, rubbing sensations, the sensation of something going up my crotch and in and out, etc. They also often force vaginal discharges and zap my genitals at the same time. These sexual assaults are present throughout the day, every day, and anytime I am awakened at night, every night. They range from mild to extreme, but usually involve daily and nightly continuous assaults for the past 3 years now. When severe, the zaps to the genitals feel as though someone is electrocuting my genitals repeatedly. I also often see highly disturbing pornographic images and videos, including highly disturbing pedophilia type of images and videos when I close my eyes. It also includes videos of violence and grotesque figures, and sometimes numbers and other symbols used to threaten torture. This forces me to open my eyes, even when I'm so sleep deprived. I also experience what is referred to as malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation, so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams and videos in my closed eyes. Specific foods or things like flowers.
People. I don't even know if there was, I don't know what the fuck. Somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. Like, this disgusting things. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have no choice now but to acknowledge that there are people in my surroundings or whatever they're doing. I don't know how they do it. I don't care.
In no-touch torture, the techniques are more psychologically specialized for each target. Most common examples include homosexual targets that are forced with voices that are derogatory to their lifestyle and similar mental images. Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds. And
they forced me to so I was in the shower. That's when they usually try to create their fantasy. First of all, they bring back how they forced me to uh eh, see the child of somebody I was dating. They forced me to have these disgusting perceptions. You heard those testimony before that. I played some before, and it just shows what they do, right? How nasty they are, right? In regard of in regard of the disgusting perception toward children. They are very pedophilia centric, and they want you to accept. They will make a noise campaign, and I talked about it before, where there was this picture of this kid that I was dating somebody who had a child, and she kept showing her children so they can create thoughts of pedophilia or some sort of perception. And she showed one picture of her which looked like it's somehow distorted. I don't know if because it was super zoom, but it looked like she's a little bit more. It was the proportion kind of changed. It looked like she had a larger lower part of her body, which in reality she's just like a typical kid. But in that picture, she looked different, and they tried to create this sexual perception of this kid. I have another picture of her when at the same time, but not distorted at this level. So, but they try to make you look at it in a sexual way. Now, then they try to talk about what I did when I was in going to that. You see that first place? That's a video of a nightclub that we used to go when I was between 18 to 22. Obviously, when I was there, we'd do something that we do things that just embarrassing, stupid things. But I know these are the people who torture children and women sexually. They torture women in the foulest way and children in the foulest way. You heard the testimony, and I'm not gonna let them live their fantasy. They are trying to come up with their La La Land fantasy, as in one, the protective of children. What kind of protection do you do? They don't do that. They force you to experience disgusting things toward children, disgusting thoughts, and then they want you to feel guilty for it. That's what they do. Then now they're trying to talk about something about cervix and try to talk about a woman. I'm like, listen, they've been trying to make it seem like they're doing it for this woman that they claim that I did wrong to her. Now, listen, if this woman was the one telling me that, it will be different. But I'm talking to people who are torturing women, and you heard this testimony from this woman called Katrina. She woke up one day at 4 in the morning, bleeding from all these parts, sexual part and others. She couldn't even get a rape kit because the hospitals are theirs, I think, like to call it. She was in pain. She was tormented. She was tortured. She was sexually, all these horrible things. And they want me to somehow think, they say something about cervix. I'm like, okay, I know you guys who do these horrible things to women's sexual parts are not talking. I've never, like, you will never, like, you understand? Like, I know what you guys do. You can come up with your own fantasies of how things are. But when you hear this testimony of this woman who says that she wakes up completely bleeding from all different part of her body, because she's been sexually tortured or something like that, and she's in pain and all, and she tries to go to the hospital. I'm not gonna let them live their fantasy. Now with me, they try to bring in this moment, and I'm like, listen, listen to Katrina, this woman's testimony. You hear her talking about pain, trying to go to a hospital, get a rape kit, and then they try to bring me talking, having conversation with this woman, asking this woman asking me to go for breakfast. Now, listen, I'm not saying that whatever I did was wrong, but it's not gonna come from people who do these horrible things to women, who wants to come up with their fantasies of reality. You know, they at one point they would tell me I was a father of an 8-year-old child. They came up with all kind of things, fantasies. They have nothing to do with nothing. It's like, what? Do you have a kid? It's like, no, I don't. You want me to be like? They come up with these things. It's like, no, you heard it, sir. It's like, oh, okay. You who do horrible things to. Did you hear her testimony? I know what you guys do. I can't even let you speak for her. You come with all your fantasies. Now, listen. When it comes to them trying to speak for women that they say that they are, no, you guys will do these horrible things to women. No. No. Katrina wasn't asking for let's go for breakfast. She was trying to get a rape kit. Refused one, by the way. They gave her an STD kit. And they try to talk about all this different, and then they go into the manipulation, how they make me perceive children, all different ways. It's so disgusting. And you hear this trash say, "Oh, we won." What did you win? There's nothing to win. You can't even speak about Roy Moore, a pedophile that picked up kids, even 14-year-old, and you are here forcing me to get perceptions. Then you try to talk about this woman that you claim that you're doing it for. When I know what you guys do to women, and what you guys do to children is even worse, man. It's just disgusting. And they try to serve it. Oh my gosh, what you hear about how they sexually torture women is crazy. Of course, it's sexually focused. That's why you hear this noise campaign. They try to stop me from saying these things. This is not randomly happening. They're trying to make you subscribe to this nastiness. These people sold their soul to pedophiles. There's a bunch of pedos in these agencies. They do these horrible things to women, sexually torture them, then try to pretend for this woman. Let's just say her name is let me pick a random name. Let's say her name is Zyme. Oh, this is for Zyme. What you did to Zyme, and you know about Katrina, you know about Mariana, you know about Leslie, you know about Wendy. All these women, they're torturing sexually in other ways. And you think I'm gonna let you speak for Zyme? A woman that you torture the same way you've tortured all these other women? Never. No, you. And they try to say, oh, we're worse. No, you're not worse. You're nasty, low-life trash that torture and torment women. I will never let you speak for women. Well, when you are doing horrible things to this woman, talk about cervix. What was wrong with Katrina? You understand? These people, I'm not going to let them live their fantasy. They want me to imagine me. They want to vilify me every way possible. But listen, these people who do these horrible things to women cannot vilify me knowing that I know what they do. Because this presentation, this facade that they have is not going to make me subscribe. Do you think I don't know that you will destroy Zion's life? If unfortunately she's put in this program, she could be bleeding from all the holes, like Katrina says, and couldn't even get a whole, can't even get a rape kit. Being in pain, like Katrina. Now you're here trying to, was it for her? What it was? Yeah, okay. She could have her genitals zapped and fried up every night. She could have her whatever organs destroyed using this directed energy. No, I'm not going to let them live the fantasy. These people are disgusting low life. Listen, I'm not perfect. If there's ever a woman who say I've done wrong to them, I'm talking about not these people who just going to frame and create this storyline. Then it'll be different. But I'm not going to let people who are involved in a program that does such a horrible things to people, including children and women. As I'm saying that they try to do some nasty things to my mouth, including children and women. I'm not gonna let them live that fantasy. I can't do that. I'm not. These people have done so much horrible things and are still doing this. They're doing still doing these nasty things right now. Still forcing women to experience disgusting things. When they talk about cervix, oh my gosh, no. And they're like, "Oh, we dared." No, you didn't dare. You can't even say Roy Moore. You can't even say like. And they're like, "Oh, we gonna watch it." Oh, okay, perfect. You who torture women and children are gonna watch me tortured. Oh wow. No, they've tried their best to make me feel guilty, and I was like, listen, I will feel guilty if there was somebody who wasn't torturing women and children talking to me, who's not in a program that does that to women or children. Do you think I'm gonna let you live your fantasy? Let you create your like they try to no. Do you know that I know that I had a full conversation with this woman that she come and asked me for bread, and while this woman talks about being pain, throwing up, and everything, and refused to no. And they're like, we dare no, you dare to torture women and children too. I know. And you wanted to live your fantasy and saying Zyme's name as if you're doing it for her, as if I don't know what you would do to Zyme. No, that's not how it works. You're part of a program that does horrible things to women. Then you try to pretend like you're here to avenge Zyme when you are here killing and torturing all these women in different fashion. Huh? It's not even just as simple like no, 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 sexual torture, the most disgusting ways. Burning them, radiating them, all this apply onto them. This same money they say is apply onto women. And they want me to let them live their fantasy while they do these peripheral things and force people to have these disgusting perceptions and try to counter reality. People who live this kind of thing, you don't subscribe to this. No. I made the mistake at one point to like actually have this back and forth. I was like feeling, I was like, what did I do? What I did to Simon? What happened with me and Simon? Was he wrong? Was he? I didn't know who I was talking to, and I will have this back and forth, and it's like, oh my gosh, is that wrong? What did I, like? And regardless of of what happened between me and Simon, it's not gonna come from people who do these horrible things. Imagine you're talking to somebody involved in a program that is involved includes raping, torturing, frying, radiating women. You hear them testifying all around the world, saying they're torturing me, they're doing this to my genitals, they're doing this, they do, and these people, I'm like, oh, do you see what you did to Zyme? You see what you and like what? It's like, oh, and you don't know that fact about them, and then you realize, oh my gosh, these people who are talking about Zyme, having this back and forth, tell me what you did to Zyme was wrong. You find out these people are in a program that is pushing women to kill themselves, and you utilize this kind of sexual tormenting and torture, which includes applying this directed energy onto women, even their genitals. And you're like, oh my goodness, I was talking to this trash. These people are delusional. I was talking to this low life that do horrible things, and now they try to come up and and compensate for it. I was like, oh, you're gonna see, we're gonna be tortured. It's like, please, you torture children and women. I will not let you escape in your low la la land fantasy. This woman, I talked to her. You guys are torturing women. Can you imagine seeing this woman's face, Katrina's? The doctor that refused to give her a rape kit when she's in pain. These people, they're delusional. This atrocities they do to women, and they want me to be like, oh my, we're doing it for Zyme. Get the f out of here. No. To all my target individuals, these people are gonna try to paint themselves as something else, while they try to paint you as something else. These people are in a program right now that is causing pain and torment onto even the most vulnerable people. I'm talking about children and women. Then they want you to accept their manipulation of you, manipulating you, your memories, your perceptions, everything else, and then try to bring up whatever they can bring up to make you feel like you're deserving of this, while they're in a program that are doing such a horrible things to women, atrocities. We talk about atrocities, and they're like, oh, we dared. Oh, please. You who dare to apply these atrocities to women are doing this to me, and this is daring. You're a nasty low life. I will never let them live their fantasy. And for all the women they've tortured and raped and tormented and done all this thing using this technology, this is not for free. Huh? They're doing it for a purpose of research and development. They are using this technology, this star power weaponry onto them and doing horrible things and tormenting them in every fashion possible and just seeing the result of that. I know they're not just they're seeing people as subjects, not as human beings. So the women is the same, the kids is the same, just subjects, things that they're just experimenting on, just like me. But these people are the things. They're the object. They're the nothings. Try to live their fantasy, coming up with their. I was like, please, no, 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 no. You involved with these things. I can't even talk to you. You can't talk about Zyme. You who did, like, can you imagine? I made that mistake earlier, not knowing who these people were and how disgusting they were. Having this back and forth, it's like, but we have breakfast, she wanted to, but we talked this like, no, no, she was, no. Mm-mm. I'm talking to people who do horrible things to women. Horrible things. And they cannot speak for Zyme, no, doing what they do. They're not that. And can you imagine one day they brought somebody during peak time of COVID in New York City? Peak time of COVID. Peak time. I mean, that's when there was 100 people dying every day, even 100 plus. Mid 100, 500 or so dying every day. They have this person, they say, oh, this is Zyme. There was this completely different shadow. And it's like, that's her. She came to see you. I was like, oh my gosh, you think I'm going to subscribe to that? They're delusional. I will never let them live their fantasy. They do horrible things to women, and I will never let them speak for Zyme, knowing that what they do to all these women. And Zyme will be destroyed, like so many other women they're destroying. If she was put in this program, and it won't be. It's not rare to hear women being put in this program and tormented to death. I'd rather die this way, but I will never let them live their fantasy. So I'm a target individual. Never subscribe to this. And then they try to bring up the pedophilia things they do. I'm listening to this trash trying to counter the fact that they wanted to pretend like they're doing it for women when in reality they don't care. They will torture this woman. They're saying Zyme, for example, that they say they're doing it for. But then they say, oh, you like girls, and they try to go with the pedophilia things they do and make me think of little girls and how they make me feel this different, disgusting stimulation toward children and want me to subscribe to it. That's why you heard this little noise. This is things they're trying to, first of all, rewire your brain into these pedophilia ways and then try to make you feel like, what's happening to you is deserving because, this for Zyme, for, no, 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 no. These things, including this pedophilia type of torment, is something they've done to women. Little girls, whatever it is, kids, pedophilia things, that's what they do. You like girls because they do the pedophilia type of torture and they, aim to kill little kids, little girls, specifically. And then it's like when this little boy, which is they're like, oh, they try to get this back and forth. And because I was, I didn't have it, but I was, I kind of helped. I was there during a child growing up, right? And so they can't really play as much with little boys, but little girls is the most disgusting thing. It's disturbing. They force me to have this disgusting thing toward little girls. It's the worst. It's the most disturbing. But they do that with little boys too, of course. But you hear this trash, like, oh, you like girls, we match. No, no, no. You force me to have nasty pedophilia perceptions toward children of all sorts, but especially little girls. Just like Mariana, a woman that you torture sexually, torment her to the point where she can't walk because she's sexually tormented and also forced to have these pedophilia ways of thinking. She smell baby powder and they do this pedophilia type of torture. These people are delusional. And in my head, they're like, oh, but you see how you feel about this little girl? Yeah, because you make me feel this way. No, we match. You match with the things they do. These people, when they say we match, they try to say that we're assessing and analyzing a match to how you felt at some point in your childhood or something like that, whatever. No, you are manipulating my brain to think this way because you have this tendency, this tactics of pedophilia type of tormenting, which is why I'm putting this early testimonials. They do this pedophilia type of torture. They torture women sexually. And I've been validated by women they've raped using this technology. But not only the rapes they endure, but also the manipulation of their mind, which consists of the pedophilia things. They're nasty. They're bottom feeders, and I will never let them live their fantasy. They're trash. So to all my target individuals, they are not matching, they are not protecting, they are not avenging, they are manipulating you to get this nasty experience and try to create this false reality they put together, even for their own. They force you to have experiences that are disgusting, especially pedophilia centric. I will say that all the time till my last breath. And then they tell you how you're going to be tortured as if that's validation for them. No, you forced me to have these nasty things and you're going to torture me. I'd rather be tortured by people who torture children than do the nasty things that you do. I'd rather be tortured by a bunch of pedophiles than be a bunch of pedophiles doing these things to children. They're low life trash. They are pedos. And want you to accept this nasty manipulation that they proved that they don't do the pedophilia type of torture. Delusional trash, and I will never subscribe to this.